My name is Christine Harper, and this is my story.
I was coming from a U-Haul job. I was being certified. I had to go out to Brockton. I passed. I was excited. I called my parents before I left, text a friend of mine. Then I had got on the highway. From what I can remember, when the accident had occurred, the GPS fell, which was my phone, had fell between my knees. When I went to go grab it, I veered to the left of the road, so I stepped on the brake because I felt the gravel on the road. When I stepped on the brake, my SUV lost control. I swerved to the right, and my SUV went left and right, left and right. In front of me, all I can see was the guardrail, and I knew I was going. That was it. At that point, I hit the guardrail, and I closed my eyes, and I screamed, "Dear God, please let me see my boys again." When I woke up, I was on the ground, and I was trying to take the shirt off my face, and I can hear people screaming not to move my arm because the branch is going to shake the car, and the car's going to fall. All I can see was a bright light and a firefighter walking over to me. He said his name, and I did not catch his name, and he asked me if everything's okay. Did anything hurt? And I said, my neck is burning, my back is burning, my body's burning. So he held on to me, and I can hear everybody running around me saying, the car's gonna fall, the car's gonna fall on top of her. So I asked him, I said, please, I said, I have 2 boys at home. Please tell them I love them. Please tell my parents I'm sorry for making them worry. I love them. I said, please tell my sisters and my family I love them. I said, please leave, go home to your family. I said, this car's gonna fall. I don't want you to die. I said, I feel like I'm going into shock. I said, I don't know if I'm gonna live or die. And I can hear everybody screaming, this car's gonna fall. She's gotta go. She's gotta move. And he said, I can't move her because her neck could be broken, and if I move her, she can die. He says, can you drag me? They dragged me. Next thing you know, he told me that the ambulance was coming, and I says, you're lying to me. And he says, nope, the ambulance is coming. I could not remember his name, and I wanted to know who he was. The injuries that this accident gave me was quite intense. I sustained so many injuries from my neck all the way down to my sacrum. I had fractured and broken bones in my neck, my back in 2 places. I fractured and broke my pelvis, my sacrum, my groin. I ruptured my spleen. I tore off my ear where they had to put 50 stitches in it. Also had a hematoma in my head, which luckily was above the skull and not underneath it. I had a lesion in my kidney. I think I covered it all, thank God. How can I just put it this way? God kept me here. I'm here for a reason. I had a lot of guardian angels, and it wasn't my time. This is how I cope with it. God still gave me that chance. So, come in.
Knock, knock.
Thank you so much.
Where was I going when the accident occurred? I was actually going home. I was working at the VA in Brockton, and I wasn't feeling well. I had a migraine, so I decided that I needed to go home. What I saw when the accident had occurred, I saw a bunch of people standing on the road, standing on the side of the road, and I believe I won't actually say what I said, but I believe it was something along the lines of, why do people feel the need to have a family reunion on the side of 140? Because there was just so many people standing around, and I just didn't know why. Because there was no obvious signs of an accident at the time until I got closer. And then as I got closer, I realized that the tail end of the SUV was up in the air, and I said to myself, that doesn't look right, so I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to pull over. It wasn't like a whole commotion on the side of the road. It was just people, and then obviously noticing the car. But then as I got down to everything, that's when things kind of became more apparent that it was something a lot more than just a car accident. This sucks was pretty much my first thought. Not on my part, more along the lines of, what was going on and what I could see, this was not a good situation. This is a sucky situation as it's ever gonna get. You know, there was a patient lying on the ground, a bystander that was standing there holding the person by the hips, telling them not to move, so clearly I knew that somebody was injured. And what I did to help Christine, there's a lot of things that happen all at once when you're dealing with victims of a motor vehicle accident or a victim of any accident. There, as EMTs, as firefighters, you're trained to perform very specific tasks based on what we call a mechanism of injury. With motor vehicle accidents, first priority is patient safety. So really my ultimate goal was to make sure that Christine was in no further damage than or no further harm than what she was already in. By that I mean she was half underneath the car that was being supported by a tree, so I needed to figure out, after I assessed her injuries using the algorithm, if you will, of patient assessment, trying to figure out what was wrong with her. I made the determination that if I don't move her, there is a very real potential that what's going on right now could kill her. But I had to play a very fine note as it applies to, do I leave her here and potentially she dies, or do I risk injuring her further to try to save her life? I had to play that card, and we ended up moving her to make sure that the car didn't fall and collapse onto her. But there was a lot that went into it, with just stabilizing her neck, stabilizing her back, stabilizing her hips, and trying to get her to not move. Pay attention while you're driving. Not to say that the individual that was driving wasn't paying attention, but what I mean by that is, at the end of the call, one thing that I don't think Christine knew about was, while I was down in the ditch, if you will, with Christine, I actually had my service dog in my Jeep with me, and a tractor trailer truck was paying attention to what was going on the side of the road, and actually hit 2 cars of the bystanders that originally stopped to help Christine. The truck veered into the breakdown lane and actually slammed into the back of 2 cars and pushed those cars probably about 6 inches to my Jeep. So my advice to people, especially new drivers, is don't worry about what's going on the side of the road unless it's actually impacting in your lane of travel. If it's not happening to you, don't worry about it. Just focus on the road and deal with what you need to deal with.
It's almost been 8 months. How would you feel if I told you Christine was with me?
I'd actually really like that. That would be really nice to see how well she did. Hi.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, how are you?
You're my hero. You're my hero. Thank you for all your services.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.